All right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Arachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, tell us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect, and to the men that died doing the work of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, because they shall arise first. To the men, women, and children that believe in the true name of the Father and the Son, which the Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he's the deliverer, because he come and deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. My name is Micah Allah Ben Gab Ben Yasharala, Church of Philadelphia, Cameron, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And once again, come back at you with another one, as the title says. Jake, Denounces is his fraternity, his sororities. All right. Hey, Shalom, bro. Y'all Bashim Yashai, Bashim Kakodas Brakatah. Brother, you're live my side. Yeah, so they're starting to realize, they've been lied to, they know, and a lot of Jake, went to church, but they, and these how you say it, these churches, they push that sorority Greek shit, and basically what them sororities do. Matter of fact, let's look this up real fast. Where did the Greek sororities or fraternities originate from?
While there isn't a specific sorority just for lawyers, historically black sororities, such as Alpha Kappa Alpha and Sigma Gamma Rho, have supported women in law. These groups, part of the Divine Nine, emerged to help black women in various professions, including legal careers.
All right, see, so basically, they help. I asked that, but it's not. It says no particular black sorority. They got a whole bunch of them. Like you go down there to what's that? Morehouse College down there in Atlanta. You see a lot of black fraternities, but even and basically they get that from the Greeks, man. All right, which I'm gonna play this video real fast. Then I got some scriptures lined up to back up. I'm talking about her. All right, so we have to check this out.
I told you these fraternities are evil. They worship deities. They are evil. They take you away from the great spirit within. They want you to worship deities and ritual and blood oaths. This video is talking about how all these people are quitting fraternities over America.
Being in a fraternity is demonic because it goes against the word of God. You cannot be a child of God and be in a fraternity.
I'm denouncing. It's time. I fought it for too long. I'm denouncing my membership in an organization that made me take an oath to join. I'm denouncing my membership in an organization that does unethical things daily. I'm denouncing my membership in an organization where there are people above me who do not serve God, don't know God, and they tell me what to do, and I comply without asking any questions.
When you think about it, we're all supposed to worship one God, the true and living God. However, we see rituals, we see oaths, we even see hymns sang to the deity and to the organization, and that goes against the Bible.
Well, Dr. Latanya,
when you find out that these organizations take the holy scriptures out of the Bible, and they change the scriptures, they change the word of Jesus Christ, they change out our Lord and Savior, and they change it out with the name of the organization, with the name of the fraternity, with the name of the sorority. Delta literally does this, and these people have to read this aloud. They're not praying to God.
They smile like you. They do this thing where they make you sit in Delta chair, which is basically like squats. They sit on you. They spit on you. They kick. They spit on you. Yeah, they do all that. I mean, some of the stuff that we had to do at set. I mean, the most demeaning, disgusting stuff that you could ever imagine.
Sororities are a cult. They beat you up to join. They break you down by hazing and pledging and brainwash you through your oaths and chants you have to say. There's a weird relationship between brotherhood and sisterhood and pain and suffering, and that's witchcraft and demonic. You can't talk about anything inside the group to outsiders. If outsiders question anything about the group, you get defensive and angry and even violent. And last, if you try to leave a sorority or fraternity, they disassociate from you as if you do not exist.
They call it an Omega service, like
when you die or whatever, you have your mega service, and then it's a Delta heaven. There's no Delta heaven. Yeah.
Explaining that the rituals they do, explaining how they worship deities, how they take oaths, how they intentionally get you to disrespect the great spirit within by worshiping outside of yourself these Greek gods, these Egyptian deities. This is their truth. This is the worship of Lucifer. In eternity, you know what they really into, especially if they're not saying nothing. I told you these fraternities are evil.
What's the video? It's a lot to be said. Because basically those jakes that was you see, they're in the same spirit as they was back in the Hellenistic era. You know, going back to the Greeks and all that. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. They talking about you got to take an oath. You know, when the only oath is to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Chakodas, which he tells you in Matthew, I believe it's the 22nd chapter. And Yahweh Shai told him that's what's the greatest commandment. He said, love Yahweh B'Hashem, love Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai with all your heart. You know, treat your brothers the way you want to be treated. But these people, they're taking these oaths and it's abuse and humiliation rituals for benefits in life that they're going to receive benefits for the rest of their life. It's like a brotherhood, you know. And it sounds like they stay gangs, man. Because what you say? Said they some people they jump you in. The woman's talking about they spit on you, they beat on you, they do all that. And you're supposed to take that humiliation for just to join their fraternities, man. When the only humiliation that you're supposed to take for it is supposed to be for your power. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Chakodash, and that's the ultimate, you know. The ultimate, what you could say, the ultimate humiliation. Because look at Yahushua, how he was humiliated, put himself on the cross, man. You know, no man, he told you, no man takes his life from him. You know, he lays it down. So let's go here first. All right, I got these scriptures lined up. Speaking about the sororities, man, they're wicked, man. You know, any nigga, like you got dudes that went to college and everything to get that money, man. You know, let me join this sorority. I'm set for life. And they kick it to you like that, man. You know, let's go ahead to Exodus chapter 20. And they talking about they make you denounce, you know, they telling you that they make you deny your own power, man. And like I said, a lot of these Negroes went to church, they came up in churches, and these churches, like, you got people that went to colleges and took these oaths, man, and they sit up in your churches. You know, them churches ain't shit, man. I'm telling you, so this is Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. All right, it says, matter of fact, let's start at verse 1. It says, I am Yahweh, the Most High, because it says God. I'm the Most High. It says, and the power of the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. All right. Now, that's what Egypt means, a house of bondage. That's what means slavery, man. All right. It says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. All right. And that what they was telling you in the video, what? They make you worship their gods. You know, they change the words in the scriptures. You know, she said they have hymns, man. They be lying to the people. So that's why the dude in the beginning, he said, man, he been putting off for so long, he denounced it. And it sounds just like, a little bit like the Jehovah's Witnesses, man. Because when they do away with you and they done with you, you'll walk in the congregation, the whole congregation to turn their back on you. You know, like basically, like you don't exist at all. And that's what the man mentioned in that video with these fraternities. Once you talk, because hey, man, that's basically like you going through all that oath. That's a contract. When you have an oath for something, you're basically bonding yourself to that for the rest of your life, man. That's why they get you while you're in college, young and dumb, man. You know, and a lot of people, like I said, man, a lot of people go through it for their whole life, man. So I went to age, and I seen what they did to Jake and what Jake allowed. That's right, man. That's right. You know, they do you dirty, man. That's crazy. These colleges, especially you go to colleges like Harvard, you know, like Temple, Duke, LaSalle, you know, Drexel, University of Penn, like schools like that, man. you know. And these are top dog schools, man. I'm mentioning a lot of them. You know, you go to them Ivy League schools. Hey, man, they people want to be set for life. You know, that's why they send you to these schools, man. And then, but people and our people, what they do, they get wrapped up in the bullshit, man. All right, let's read this again. Exodus 23, it says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." All right, that's plain and simple, man. All right, so let's go here to Matthew 24:9. See what Yahweh Shah says. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 9. Shalak, I'm tripping. So forgive me. So I'm looking at the wrong scriptures. I meant Joshua, forgive me. I had 2 lessons written on 1 page, so I went to the other one. But this is Joshua. The book of Joshua, chapter 23, and verse 7. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 6. All right, Joshua chapter 23, verse 6, it says, Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses. All right. And those people that you saw, they was Jake. That's why I say they're Jake. So that's what they're supposed to do. Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and do and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, that ye turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left hand. And that's what, going after these different religions, and I call them cults, man. You know, because that's what the fuck they are. Well, if you look up the word cult, they would say we in a cult. But they're wicked. I say wicked cults. How about that? Slip of the tongue. But like I said, people worship. Like you got people that have actually died trying to get into these sororities, man. You know, and guess what? They, and I'm talking about. I seen incidences where it was Edomites though, and they take it to the extreme, But I think one of them, they beat him so bad he ended up dying, and I believe they tried to charge him or whatever, but their fathers were, they were from that fraternity, so you got your judges that's down with that, and also it's like I'm telling you, you're creating a bond with this world. All right, when you join those now, like the people they're seeing like they've been duped, man. Like, oh shit, I did the wrong thing, because now your conscience is kicking in. Why? Because this truth is out here, man. This truth is all everywhere, man. You can't deny it. All right. So check it out. It says, verse 7, it says that ye come not among Salaka, that ye come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their gods. The Lord said, don't even make mention of the name of their gods. And they told you in that oath, they make you serve their gods, man. Which are what they say, Greek and Egyptian gods. Furthermore, proving that this is Sodom and Egypt, man. Egypt, Egypt being what? For the bondage, man. You serve Greek for deities, Roman deities, and Egyptian deities, man. And these schools, and that's what they got their little Kappa, all that crazy stuff, man. You're serving their gods, what the Lord told you not to do. But why you do that? Because you don't want to suffer here in Babylon, man. The Lord put us here to suffer. This is a punishment. You get your daily bread, you work and everything, but you don't try to get rich here. This is not the place to get rich. This is not the place to get a crown. This is a place for our punishment and our humiliation. All right. We're being humiliated here as Israelites. You don't even know who we are. That's why these people join all these different things, man. But now I said, like, look, the guy said he's denying it. He's denouncing it. All right, so let's go back to Joshua 23:7. It says that ye come not among these nations. All right, and these are other nations, man, that's just running these places. These nations that remain among you neither make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause to swear by them. You see that? And what was they doing in there? She said, we made an oath, man. That's swearing to them, man. Swearing by. All right, to swear by them, neither serve them nor bow yourselves unto them, man. And that's a form of them bowing down when they take these oaths and everything. In hopes of what? To get money, to get a career, a promising career in Babylon, to take care of your family and all that. When you're supposed to serve the Lord, man. Me personally, I ain't go to college, man. It wasn't for me. Never even thought about it, But I used to watch it on TV and hear the story. I'm like, man, I'm not doing that shit. I used to tell myself, I wish somebody would try to beat on me and humiliate me to join a fraternity. I'm like, man, we'd have been rumbling, man. And the Lord knows my spirit. That's why I never went to no places like that. That's just me. I'm talking about myself. I can't talk about nobody but me, man. That's the Lord the Spirit gave me. And now look, I'm seeing all these things that the people that were tricked by it, now look at them. They're upset, man. As long as they didn't take the chip, they still got an opportunity, But they gotta be a part of the elect. The Lord gotta choose them. All right. So let's go ahead for 1 Corinthians, 10. 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. All right. It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 20, which reads, matter of fact, let's start at verse all right, let's start at verse 19. 1 Corinthians 10 and 19, it says, what say I then that the idols, Salakia, that the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, and that's what these people was doing, that this is a modern day sacrifice, the sacrificing their bodies to be beaten on, like the woman was talking about, spit on, get humiliated, they make you do all kind of crazy stuff, like matter of fact, like the Dave Chappelle show when he was making fun of what was he making fun of Diddy, and he was like, oh, well, you got to walk to somewhere and get me the Cambodian breast milk or whatever, some crazy stuff like that. They send dudes on dummy missions like that, man. It says, but I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to the Most High power. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. All right. Matter of fact, let's read that in the NLT, man. So the Lord don't want you to associate with stuff like that, man. You're a holy people, man. Like I said, you've been duped. Them people been duped, man. It's 1 Corinthians 10 and 20 in the NLT. It says, no, not at all. I am saying that these sacrifices are offered to demons, not to the Most High. And I don't want you to participate with demons, man. That's plain and simple, man. The Lord is telling you, like, don't you sacrifice to him. Just like when we go on the highways and hedges, like right now, this is a sacrifice to Yahweh Shem outside. You sacrifice your time to him. It's like he told you at Mount Sinai, thou shalt not have any other gods before him, man. All right, so let's go ahead to Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, 45 and 5. All right, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and 5. It says, I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no power beside me. I girded thee through thou hast not known me, though thou hast slacked. Read that again, tongue child. All right. It says, I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no power besides me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. All right. So them people, he girded them, meaning what? Let's get that word. All right. He girded them. Took care of them. Even though they ain't know him, man. And them people that go to them school, they don't know the Lord. That's why I say, yo, you can't be a man of the Lord in a sorority, man. Joining that shit. So let's go ahead. This word, girded.
Strong's H 247. Azer.
which is azar, all right, which is gird, encompass, equip, clothe, all right. The clothe, he girded them, he kept them. All right, be girded, hold close, collapse, gird oneself for war. But it's not talking about that. So it's talking about he girded, gird, encompass, equip, and clothe. That's what he does, man. All right. And then these schools, and they all deny the Lord, man. And that's a part of the thing, too. You got to denounce your power, man. You know? Just like when you go into the army, what do? They break you down mentally and then try to build you back up the way they want you into a soldier. A mindless, whatever, yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, and all that. You know, that's what they want you to do in these sororities, assert their powers, man. All right. And the dude said that what? They was adding on, you know? That's crazy. He said that they took the words out of the Bible and put their sororities in there and told the people they had to read that, man. That's crazy. So check this out. This is what the scriptures say about that. Revelations chapter 22 and 18. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 18. It says, "For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book," all right, of this book that we're talking about. "If any man should add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book." So, hey, man, Jake, yo, that joined that and I read and actually added to these words. Yo, the Lord is going to add unto them these plagues, man. So it's a good thing that Jake was denouncing it, man. That one guy that denounced, like, man, he said it wasn't right with his spirit. Why wasn't it? Because the Lord was telling him that, man. You know, we're spiritual people. So if the Lord is guiding you, he's dealing with you, man, you're going to feel like a lot of people, they be fun, but they just so corrupt in their mind. They just push through it like, oh, fuck, I still go to church, though. You know, that's what the dude was saying. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, bro, that's not his name. So you still lost, man. You know, but you got enough sense to know to get the hell up out of there. You know, Revelations 22 and 19. All right, it says, "And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book," man. So you're going to catch hell, man. Them people going to catch hell for doing those things, man. You know, adding on, taking away. And then got the nerve to change the words and put your Greek sorority in there, man. That's wicked as all hell, man. That's wicked as all hell. And that's why, hey, you got to pay for that. But Jake, they trying to come out of that, man. But, hey, this is all prophecy, what we're saying, man. The people denouncing the things because they know that they've been lied to. That's why they're denouncing it. They like, damn, man. And, yo, you see, and that's how you know that this prophecy is gorgeous. All right, this prophecy is gorgeous, man. When you see things like this happening, all right, you know that the Lord is making good on his promise, man. You know? I'm going to read that one more time. Matter of fact, let's read that in the NLT real quick. Revelations 22 and 18. All right, it's Revelations 22 and 18 and 19 too. And the NLT, it says, and I solemnly declare to everyone who hears the words of prophecy written in this book, if anyone adds anything to what is written here, the Most High will add to that person the plagues described in this book. So, hey, man, you got the C-19, you got the measles coming back. You know that house in Virginia, HIV, you know what that is. Just take the first letters of each word I said. That house in Virginia, that was in that C-19, or they little jump shots, which a lot of people are catching that now, you know. And all these plagues is written in the book, man. And even the plagues that's not written in the book, the Lord is going to add on to you, man. All right, verse 19, it says, and if anyone removes any of the words from this book of prophecy, the Most High will remove that person's share in the tree of life and in the holy city that are described in this book. You know, so you're going to be walking around with shame, man, especially if you're an Israelite. You know, you're gonna hold your head in shame because hey man, you didn't do what was required. What was required of you as an Israelite. All right, and those people, they don't know that they're Israelites, man. You know, they think they're African Americans. You know, blacks. You know, Latinos, Native Americans. That's what they call themselves. Indians and all that crazy stuff, man. That's the names that, Esau gave you, you know. Let's go here to Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 5. That's all I tell, man. Even if a dude went to college, right now ain't even the time to try to go to no colleges, man. That's just out the window. That's retarded to even think about trying to go to a 4-year school, whatever, man. And you still got people, see with the money for the babies, man. We're going to send them to college. Niggas just graduated, and their mindset is going to college, man. When college breeds with the women, that's a breeding ground for whores, man. That is a breeding ground for whores, man. And that's why the women, they be getting ran through. And all them sororities and all that, man. They be getting raped too, man. I'm telling them. And they got them houses like around where we teach at around here. They got them Greek sororities, and we be looking at them like, God damn. And you can tell, like, yo, man, it's a bunch of wicked shit that go on in there, man. With them little Edomites, man. You know, Jake want to be up in there and all that. You know, but those are what you would call the future leaders of this society, man. You know, they would be considered the future leaders. So you had Trump went to what? He went to UPenn here in Philadelphia, our West Philly area, University City area. You know, he went there. Elon Musk went to UPenn. You got a lot of foreigners that go to that school, man. You know, and sororities and all that. Hey, man, it's wicked. So and then look at what's going on now with these whole Epstein files. You know, they put Diddy out there, all that, man. So and if that's happening there, so imagine in these schools, man. It's a breeding ground for that, man. You know, it is a breeding ground for that. And that's why they tell you got to deny your God and serve ours. Because they worship demons, man. All right. That's why I don't sit right with Jake's with this spirit. That's why Jake is so wicked when they, like I said, mention the black colleges. You got Hillman, Morehouse, you know, schools like that in Atlanta, you know. They what they do, they pattern after Esau, man. When Jake do something, they do it to death, man. They become more wicked than the wicked, man. They trying to beat the wicked at their game because why? The Lord gave them that spirit that whatever they do, they're going to prosper at. They're prospering at being wicked, man. You know? But anyway, this is where we at? Proverbs chapter 30 and 5. It says, every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. And thou, Salakit, and though not unto his words, Salakit, it says, add thou not unto his words. I can't read it there for some reason, Salakit. It says, add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. You know, like that lady said, what she mentioned in the video. What she say? Oh, when a person in a sorority or fraternity dies, you know, they have like this whole type of ceremony and this and that, and be like, oh yeah, they're going to. What she said they're going to Delta heaven, and she was like, it's no such thing as She said there's no such thing as a Delta heaven. You know, so they got these people minds screwed up their whole life, and you got people that I'm saying Jake in the past, older Jake, you know, they actually died in these sororities, and they put their children on. Because they thought they was doing the right thing. Hey, Magan Shalom, bro. Yahabashim Yosai, Bashima Chakodas Barakatah. So they actually thought that they was doing the right thing. Oh, I got to send my kids to college. Matter of fact, look at that show, The Cosby Show, man. That's what that was all about. Then a spinoff, A Different World. Because they went from the household, Bill Cosby, his name was Heathcliff Huxtable. He was a doctor. His wife was a doctor, you know. The father and mother, their fathers and mothers were, I believe they were important people, so to speak, you know. So it was like they was promoting that, and then he was promoting that sorority shit in that show, man. You know, and from the Cosby Show to to a different world. They was promoting that whole college thing. That's when I used to watch it as a kid. I'm like, man, I'm not doing that shit. Yo, that's right, brother. College keep Jake trapped up in it. Yup, that's why Jake getting mad now. You know, they denouncing like, yo, man. And the dude said that. He said, I denounce my sorority, my fraternity, everything. And yo, that was a big step for that dude because, for one, they going to exile him. You know, whatever they promised you, whatever oath you took and everything, like to get your money and all that, you ain't getting none of that, man. They gonna cut you short. You know. But hey, man, that's why they join these places, man. They want that structure here in Babylon, man. You know, the Lord gives you your structure, man. All right. I said this is a place of suffering, not to be comfortable, man. You know, be comfortable being uncomfortable, man. How about that? You know, the prophets did it. Look at John the Baptist, man. Prime example. You know, Elijah. You know, all the prophets, man. They were rough men, man. And first of all, the colleges, they really started off for being a higher learning of the scriptures. That's what they were for, man. That was what colleges really was started out to be, you know. But the niggas, you know, of course it was the wicked Jakes. He fucked everything up, man. Just say the brother guy said, I could never get into that shit. So So I went to college, I went to college and played ball, and it wrecked me. No fret though. I got asked after get humiliated by niggas who want to act like that. Yo, that's right, bro. That's right. That's because look, and the reason why that happened to you, look what the Lord did. You out here teaching now. It's a prophet, man. You know, so of course it wasn't for you. That's why the Lord did the things he did to you, but he did it so you could see what's going on. That's more to talk about in its truth, man. You know, to bring out the information on these people, man. They definitely demons, man. You know, if the Lord wanted you in the fraternity, guess what? You would have been in it, man. But he had mercy on you, you know? And that's what's up. That's a beautiful thing. Call on y'all by Sing Shai, by Sing Kakotas for that, man. You know? But I'm going to read that again. Proverbs 30:5, it says, every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that in NLT as well. But the reason why I'm bringing out these scriptures is because you know, the man said about them actually putting, that's wicked as hell, man. They were putting their fraternity's name using scriptures, but instead of the words of the Lord, I mean the names of the Lord and everything, they would put their fraternity and made the people read it. That's wicked, man. That's why I'm reading this. Proverbs 30:5 in the NLT. It says, every word of the Most High proves true. That's right. He is a shield to all who care to him, to Slack. He is a shield to all who come to him for protection. Do not add to his words, or he may rebuke you and expose you as a liar. God damn. Yo, man, I'm telling you, the Lord ain't no joke, man. And now see, when they added all those words, now look what happened. They're being shown to be a liar. Because that's why the dude, if they was telling the truth and all that, and people wouldn't want to lead their fraternities. Only a weak-minded motherfucker needs shit like that, man. You know, the weak, they need that, oh, I need comfortability in society. Man, fuck this society. You know? Because when the Lord strikes, when everything, man, the prophecies has already happened. But, yo, when they shut these schools, when the Lord really shut this place down, who they going to run to then? Who they going to call on then? You know? They ain't going to have no clue. You can't run to your fraternity and call on them because they're going to be shook too. They're going to be scared to death. You know? They ain't going to know what to do. Looking at their elders, oh my God, what are we supposed to do here? But the men of the Lord are going to be chilling, man. You know? Cool as a fan. Cool as a fan in January. You know, so let's go to 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. You know. Okay. The things of the Greek is the Greeks were some freaks, man. That's why matter of fact, that's what they used to have. The Freaknik. That here in Philadelphia, man. I remember that. Yo, listen, man. That joint was crazy because it was always around there. Around what? Drexel and UPenn campuses. And when I took, yo, man, woman was getting raped, humped on, and it was a Greek tradition, man. Just look up the Greek if you don't know about it. The Greek picnic or the Freaknik, the Greek picnic here in Philadelphia. Shit was crazy, man. Yo, people was drunk as hell out their minds, just doing whatever the hell they wanted to, man. You think the law was going to stop them? No. All right, check this out. 2 Thessalonians, while I'm rambling, forgive me. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Matter of fact, we're going to start at verse 1. It says, a man of lawlessness, all right? And that's what these fraternities are. They lawless, man. They do what the hell they want to do, man. All right, it says, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1, it says, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not so soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand. And we can start seeing, we're seeing that, man. The day of Yahushua is at hand, man. It's just, man, all the prophecies that's happening, we're closer than we even, but I could imagine. All right, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, man. And the falling away is what? We fall away from our heritage, man. Our lost as a commandments. We lost our identity, you know? It had to lose it, because back in that time, the Israelites, when Yahushua was walking the scene and all that, and the apostles and everything, they knew that they were Israelites, certain ones, you know? But here in Babylon, we ain't know that we was Israelites. We had to be re-woken up by who? It started with high priest Rabbi Abba Bivens, man. You know, believe it was at the late 60s, 70s, you know, and he came on the scene, started teaching, you know, and that woke us up. You know, even more so now, you had that great awakening when the apostles went on YouTube, it spread like wildfire, man. Wildfire. All right. That's right, brother. The freak, that's right. Some of these dudes, moms now, shit. You watch the old footage, they see their mom's face on there. They follow all that, man. It was a wild John, man. It was a wild John. But yeah, back in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, one more time, it says, let no man deceive you by any means. You know, don't be deceived by these people, what they talking, oh, you got to serve this and this. No, the Lord's telling you, if you read the scriptures and the Lord opens up your eyes to this, man, you're on your way to greatness, man. All right? You are on your way to greatness. And can't nobody stop you. That's the Lord, yo. What he told you, said, I think it's Revelations, the 3rd chapter. He said, I set a door and before you I have opened the door that no man can shut. I think it's Revelations 3 and 8. And if you close the door, no man can open it, roughly paraphrasing, you know? So don't let no man deceive you. Let no man take your crown, man. Because all they want to do is lie to you. So what? Because hey, man, these people know the top dog elites, the Edomites, the dukes of Edom, so to speak, you know, they know what's up, man. They know they're going into slavery, man. So they just lie to us as much as they can. They really don't care about who they lie to. Because they know the jig is up for them, man. You know? It says, let Let no, back in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That's talking about you, Edomite, Esau, man. You know, the son of perdition, the goddamn devil, man. So Edomite son. Look how much they're being exposed now through their own files, man. Epstein's files is crazy. But it's not surprising, man. That shouldn't surprise you knowing the track record of Esau when you read the scriptures. But the people that's not really in tune with the word, it's a shock to, oh my God, I can't believe they did this. Motherfucker, they was in them sororities too doing this shit. You know, what you call it, what's that? The skull and bones, man. Look up the skull and bones. Why would they skull and bones? They're bones, man. A skeleton. That's death, man. And that's what a lot of your presidents, they went to Harvard, man. You know, UPenn, but Harvard mainly, you know, for what? Graduated in the Skull and Bones Society. Who the fuck wants to join something called Skull and Bones, except for a man of death, man? You know? And that's Esau, the harbinger of death, man. You know? This is Isaiah chapter 2 and 18. All right? It says, in the idols, he shall utterly abolish. All right. And that's what they was talking about. They want you to serve their gods, their idols. And the idols he shall utterly abolish, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. That's what's coming. Yo, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Because all those ones that's worshiping these things, and that's I'm talking about the Edomites, man. That's that set up this system. But actually, the Lord set it up for them. You know, he just let them run it. You know, because it's his will that these things happen, man. But they gonna run to the hills, man. Run to the rocks. That's why they got these underground bunkers. You know, with their idols and all that. They and you gonna call on that in that day? They know what's up, man. They ain't listen. What the scriptures say, man. Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess, man, about Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. And he's the power, ultimate power, man, over everything. All right. It says, in that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver. See this? In that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself, to worship, to the moles and to the bats. They ain't going to be calling on them gods in that day, man, because it's not going to save them, man. You know, it's not going to save them, man. That's why it's good to see Jake like, oh man, you know, I denounce it, but hey, if you don't turn to Yahweh Shem outside by Shem Kakodas, he has to choose you anyway. You know, if he don't choose you, man, then you number for the sword, man. You know, see you in the kingdom. You know, just like myself, I always tell myself this, man. I'm like, yo, I might not be a man of the Lord, man. You know, but I try to make my call into the election sure to the best of my ability, man. Better believe that. You know, this is Jeremiah chapter 16. And we're going to go to verse 19. It's the last scripture I really have on this topic. Now, I might play the video one more time so for the people that didn't see it, they can see it now. So you know what I'm talking about. This is Jeremiah 16 and 19. All right, it says, O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge. In the day of my affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies. See that? Our fathers have inherited lies, vanity and things wherein there is no profit. You see, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's why I was explaining earlier with like with that whole Cosby shit, like the father sent his son to school, and he want to send his son to college, and it's a trickling effect, and there's no profit in that, man. You know, the brother here in this church, in this camp, the brother Raza that be manning the camera, He went to Harvard, man. You know? He went to UPenn. He went to some top dog schools, man. Free ride, man. But anyway, I ain't going to say too much about that. But he knows about this, man. You know? And he always tell us all the time, he said, man, I wasted my time going to them schools. And this is a man that went to a top dog school. To hear that come out of a man's mouth and you know that he went there and he tells you, man, I wasted my time. I should have been doing this all along. That's saying a lot, man. That's saying a lot. That's letting you know the Lord is not a liar, man. The Lord is not a liar, man. All right. Jeremiah 16 and 20. It says, shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once, Salakia. It says, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahweh. All right. He said that. So all that's what I'm talking about, these sororities, these fraternities and all that, man. The people is doing that in vain because it's not going to profit them nothing in the time of calamity. You know, the Lord, I'm telling you, the Lord is about to these idols, man. That's why I did a video not too long ago on the Lord going to famish the idols of this world. All right, so I'm gonna get that in the NLT real quick, and like I said, I'll play the video again for y'all to see it. The ones that didn't see it, it's not too long. It's about a couple minutes. This is Jeremiah 16 and 19 in the NLT. It says, Yahweh, you are my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of trouble. Nations from around the world. See this? It says, this is why I love the NLT, man. It says, nations from around the world will come to you and say, our ancestors left us a foolish heritage. Ding! Our sister Salak, it says, our ancestors left us a foolish heritage, for they worship worthless idols. Psh, come on, man. I'm out to walk to Jerusalem real quick. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. We're gonna get that power one day, man. You know, just gotta wait for it. But hey, yo, that's dead on, man. No, it says, can people make their own gods? These are not real gods at all, man. And that's what these fraternities, they're matter of fact, they're making themselves gods. And they still worship the deities and the gods and all that of Rome, Greece, and of Rome, of the Romans, the Greeks, and also the Egyptians. That's all you're doing when you go to these schools, man. You know? It says, verse 21, it says, the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, says, now I will show them my power. See that? Now I will show them my power. Now I will show them my might. At last, they will know and understand that I am Yahweh. Bashim Yahushua, man. Bashim Harachaha Kwadash, man. Yo, man, I can't wait. Yo, I'm telling you. I'm about to tear up thinking about that. Anyway, like I said, I'll play the video again for you. And I'll close out. Hold on.
I told you these fraternities are evil. They worship deities. They are evil. They take you away from the Great Spirit within. They want you to worship deities and ritual and blood oaths. This video is talking about how all these people are quitting fraternities over America.
Being in a fraternity is demonic because it goes against the word of God. You cannot be a child of God and be in a fraternity.
I'm denouncing. It's time. I fought it for too long. I'm denouncing my membership in an organization that made me take an oath to join. I'm denouncing my membership in an organization that does unethical things daily. I'm denouncing my membership in an organization where there are people above me who do not serve God, don't know God, and they tell me what to do, and I comply without asking any questions.
When you think about it, we're all supposed to worship one God, the true and living God. However, we see rituals, we see oaths, we even see hymns sang to the deity and to the organization, and that goes against the Bible. Well, Dr. Latanya,
But she got her doctorate, man. Come on, man.
Take the holy scriptures out of the Bible, and they change the scriptures. They change the word of Jesus Christ. They change out our Lord and Savior, and they change it out with the name of the organization, with the name of the fraternity, with the name of the sorority. Delta literally does this, and these people have to read this aloud. They're not praying to God.
They smile wipe you. They do this thing where they make you sit in Delta chair, which is basically like squats. They sit on you. They spit on you. They kick. They spit on you. Yeah, they do. They do all that. I mean, some of the stuff that we had to do at set. I mean, the most demeaning, disgusting stuff that you could ever imagine.
Sororities are a cult. They beat you up to join. They break you down by hazing and pledging and brainwash you through your oaths and chants you have to say. There's a weird relationship between brotherhood and sisterhood and pain and suffering, and that's witchcraft and demonic. You can't talk about anything inside the group to outsiders. If outsiders question anything about the group, you get defensive and angry and even violent. And last, if you try to leave a sorority or fraternity, they disassociate from you as if you do not exist.
They call it an omega service, like when you die or whatever, you have your omega service, and then it's a delta heaven. There's no delta heaven. Yes.
Explaining the rituals they do, explaining how they worship deities, how they take oaths, how they intentionally get you to disrespect the great spirit within by worshiping outside of yourself these Greek gods, these Egyptian deities. This is their truth. This is the worship of Lucifer. In eternity, you know what they really into, especially if they're not saying nothing.
Yo, cut. Now hold on, real fast before I close up. Let's get this real quick. They said Delta, and that's crazy. She said they had to do all type of, they R. Kelly the pistol. She said, did they piss on you? Hey, and that's crazy. I'm laughing because that shit is crazy. Like the level that people stoop. Just to be successful here in Babylon. Like, God dang, get a regular job, man. Be a plumber or something, man. A fucking electrician or something. You know what I mean? Like, God dang, get a trade. You know what I mean? Do some construction. You know what I mean? You make money like that. Good money, decent money without selling the hell out, man. But what does the word Delta mean? Let's get that. All right, here we go. So let's go into the Greek alphabet, ask ChatGPT. All right, the Greek alphabet says ancient Greece origin. That's what these schools go back to. It says Delta, which you see, it looks like the triangle. That's crazy. That's why, that's going to what? Rome, man. Not Rome, so like Egypt. Looks like a pyramid, triangle. But it says, all right, Delta is the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet. Because the capital letter, see, check it out. That's what I said. If you can see it, looks like a triangle right up here. See right there. The triangle. That's why they do it. That dumbass Illuminati sign. Yeah. That's that Greek shit, man. All right. It says because the capital letter is shaped like a triangle, the word letter became associated with triangular shapes. All right. It says geography, river delta. Geography of delta is a landform created at the mouth of a river, formed in sediment disposition as a. All right, matter of fact, you know what? Now the Nile Delta is there go in Egypt. It's called a delta because its shapes resembles the Greek letter, which is shaped like a pyramid, man. They know what they're doing, man. These people, they're very precise. What it says in finance, delta refers to the rate of change in the price of an option compared to the price of the underlying assets. All right. Matter of fact, let me ask you this real quick. What does the word delta mean in Greek fraternities or to the fraternities? Let's see what this says. All right. All right, here we go. All right. Damn, that's crazy. All right, it says, matter of fact, I'll just read it. Same thing, though. It says, Delta is the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet in general Greek usage. It can symbolize change and math, science. See, change. Come on, man. Look at the words that's this associated with. It says a triangular shape. With that, they be throwing it with Hov was throwing up. Well, Jay-Z, that fucking wicked ass nigga throwing up the rock, what they was calling it the rock. He was actually throwing up. Hey, Shalom, bro. Yabashim Yashab, Bashim Kakodas Brakatah. But it says, but in fraternities, it is mainly part of the organization's name and identity, not a universal symbol with one fixed meaning. All right, here we go. So, because the one she mentioned. Now, these are the certain sororities that, for that says, each fraternity or sorority assigns its own meaning to its letters. Delta does not have one standard meaning across all groups. So it says, for example, you got Delta, Sigma, Theta, all Greek shit, man. It said the letters represent the organization's founding ideals and Greek motto, not just the dictionary meaning of Delta. Kappa Alpha Psi, though not beginning with Delta, it shows how each set of Greek letters represents that specific group's value. You got Delta, what's this? Upsilon. Here, Delta is simply part of the Greek letter name choosing at founding. All right. Well, all right, here it goes. It says what Delta usually represents in this context. It says within fraternities and sororities, Delta typically is a part of a Greek letter identity, represents founding principles, mottos, or values. All right. Mottos or values, connects members to tradition and brotherhood, sisterhood. See that? So that's a sisterhood, brotherhood for life. That's why the people want to join this stuff. They want to be taken care of for life, man. All right. And then, I'm going to get my children to join. That's a brother, sisterhood. You know what I mean? When it said you got to get jumped in and all this crazy stuff, yo, you're born an Israelite. That's your heritage. It ain't no getting jumped in or taking an oath, man. You're born an Israelite, man. You know? When you wake up, when the Lord wakes you up, then you understand the greatness. Then you understand the bitterness of it as well, man. All right. It says does not automatically mean change unless the organization defines it that way. The meaning is internal and symbolic, defined by this specific organization. All right, basically, that's it. Hey, man. So, hey, I wasn't even trying to be this long, guys. But Lord's willing, this was edifying. You got something out of it. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Arachakwadash, Dawanas to the apostles, elders, and bishops, great millstones, Shalom to the elect. To the next lesson, I'm saying Mawafa Baba Ball, and Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.